Yo, what's up YouTube? I wanted to exhibit and document my collection of anime on video. Here I will start off with a favorite series of mine, and especially my real-life friend, CPlasmaGuns. That series is of course Ranma Nibu no Ichi, or Ranma 1/2. For this video, I'll start with the first season on VHS. Rumiko Takahashi's Ranma 1/2, Volume 1, the Collector's Edition. CPlasmaGuns gave me quite a few of what he had collected on VHS. Most of it he bought or bought again from half-price books at a heavily discounted used/pre-owned price. He was courteous enough to let me have them, and hopefully this video shows my additional gratitude for it. It probably isn't all of the tapes released and distributed by Viz Media, and it certainly is not the entire collection of the Ranma video library. However, I am in the process of collecting or recollecting the Ranma series in its entirety in the more modern DVD format. And hopefully this series of showing my VHS collection will serve as the prelude to future DVD unboxings. Because videotapes could only carry one audio track, we, the anime consumer, had to either buy two editions of the same video or be forced to choose between original Japanese audio with subtitles or English dubbed audio. Long story short, this meant the argument between subs and dubs were more relevant and more serious back then. The first season of Ranma I have here are all the subtitled editions. They come in premium hard plastic cases and each include a small newsletter for liner notes. Each volume contains their opening and ending themes in English subtitles, Romanized subtitles, and animation-only no-credit clean version. What's interesting is that each of the different variation of those themes appear as a regular feature for one of the 3 episodes on the tape, rather than an extra feature at the end of the tape. The first volume contains the very first 3 episodes of the television series: The Strange Stranger from China, School is No Place for Horsing Around, and A Sudden Storm of Love. Hey, wait a minute. The liner notes is a mock newspaper titled the Furinkan News Gazette, all the news that's printed to fit. The articles in it are more or less related to the storyline of the anime in the volume thus far, providing supplementary information and adding a little more humor along the way. There's also lyrics to the so-called Furinkan High School Anthem, which is actually the opening theme song Don't Make Me Wild Like You, or Jajauma ni Sase Naide. What I find peculiar is that despite this being the subtitled version, which was sold at a premium over the dubs at the time, and the fact that it was marketed as a collector's edition, the audio is actually monaural. The dub version was remastered into stereo, which my later unboxing of the DVD releases of the exact same episodes and seasons will confirm. Rumiko Takahashi's Ranma Nibu no Ichi, Collector's Edition Volume 2. The second volume contains the 4th, 5th, and 6th episodes, Ranma and Ranma. If it's not one thing, it's another. Love Me to the Bone, The Compound Fracture of Akane's Heart, and Akane's Lost Love. These things happen, you know. Just like the first volume, the subtitled edition is in mono, and is 75 minutes in running time. The liner notes, much like the first volume, is a mock publication based inside the Ranma universe. It's a quote-unquote draft version of the Furinkan Phoenix, aka the Furinkan High School 1994 yearbook. The entire thing contains parodied sections of a typical high school yearbook that correspond to the overall storyline. It includes an introduction written by student body president Tatawaki Kuno, or who I'd like to call Kuno Baby! His intro manages to ramble on farther than I could when narrating my videos. It finally includes a rant from the editor saying he's given up publishing the yearbook due to how audacious it became, citing next year he'll take up a more peaceful club, such as the Tea Ceremony Club. Rumiko Takahashi's Ranma Nibu no Ichi, the Collector's Edition, Volume 3. It has the episodes Enter Ryoga, the Eternal Lost Boy, School is a Battlefield, Ranma vs. Ryoga, and True Confessions, A Girl's Hair is Her Life. There's a misprint on the back cover. The show's catchphrase gets abruptly cut off reading Yin and Yang was. The newsletter is titled Daihyaka Nibunoichi, or Encyclopedia 1/2. Everything you ever wanted to know about Ranma 1/2, including colloquialisms, historical notes, trivia, Japanese slang, and some really bad words as used in the series. Compiled by Trish Ledoux with research assistance by Toshifumi Yoshida and Yoshiyuki Higuchi. It seems to be a serious take on the liner notes compared to the first two entries. The Furinkan News Gazette and the Furinkan Phoenix were more or less articles written in character of the Ranma universe as a whole. The Daihyaka Nibunoichi is more supplementary information, something one would expect to be tacked on to subtitles to explain a joke or something. Each obscure reference is organized by episode in this volume, and includes translations of certain words given the specific context in the show. For example, Kono Hentai. Haha, hentai. I could never get over the changes in font for translated phrases to the Chicago typeface, which I will always remember as the old system font for Apple products, such as Mac's pre-OS X. Rumiko Takahashi's Ranma Nibunoichi, the Collector's Edition Volume 4. It's rather strange that the picture on the front has girl-type Ranma with black hair, as she's holding Ryoga as a piglet. She's usually a redhead in the anime. This volume includes the episodes P-chan, He's Good for Nothing, Ranma Meets Love Head On, Entered the Delinquent Juvenile Gymnast, and A Woman's Love is War, the Martial Arts Rhythmic Gymnastics Challenge. The liner notes is the second edition of Daihyaka Nibunoichi, specially labeled for episodes 10 through 12. Just like the last issue, there's more info explaining jokes and references, categorized by episode. Both issues thus far not only include translations, but illustrations or maps and geography if warranted. There's also a section titled Akane vs. Ranma Perfect Memory, a documentation of the most hilarious acts of domestic abuse between the two main characters, be it woman on man or woman on woman. Unfortunately, according to the chart, all of it that occurs in this volume is only on the 10th episode. The newsletter is capped off with lyrics to the ending theme, Platonic Tsurunuite, or Let's Keep It Friends Platonic. The entire section is not only the lyrics written in its native kana and kanji, romanization, translation, but also explanations of the translation much in the style of that for the episodes. There's an even extra set of lyrics where rather than a perfect literal translation, are English lyrics written to be able to be sung in tune with the music. Rumiko Takahashi's Ranma Nibunoichi, the Collector's Edition Volume 5. Another black-haired Ranma-chan with Shampoo, Akane, and Ryoga as P-chan. It includes the episodes A Tear in a Girl Delinquent's Eye, the end of the Martial Arts Rhythmic Gymnastics Challenge, Pelvic Fortune-Telling, Ranma is the #1 bride in Japan, and Enter Shampoo, the gung-ho girl, I put my life in your hands. The newsletter is yet another edition of Daihyaka Nibunoichi for episodes 13 through 15. The Encyclopedia 1/2 usually starts off with corrections for previous issues, and this one is no different. They themselves pointed out that the Akane vs. Ranma Perfect Memory, a complete guide to violence committed by Akane against Ranma, the cause and the outcome, was in fact incomplete for episodes 10 through 12, considering they only listed them for episode 10. The Perfect Memory does include the awesome slapstick domestic abuse for 11 and 12, as well as for the episodes on this tape. The authors also encouraged their readers and fans to point out certain errors for future editions of the Encyclopedia 1/2. The Animerica Gaff Squad, as they dubbed themselves, no pun intended. Nonetheless, just like previous liner notes, they're a good read and a lot of information to cover here. But I will say that this edition concludes with concept art for the architectural design of Akane's residence, including some floor plans. It is titled, Secret Plans of the Tendo Dojo. It seems that the quote-unquote source of this information is courtesy of Tendo Enterprises, all rights reserved. Suspicious. Rumiko Takahashi's Ranma ni Bunoichi, the Collector's Edition, Volume 6. Yet another picture of Ranma-chan with black hair, this time with Genma as a panda, Son Tendo, the sisters Kasumi, Nabiki, and Akane, Pichan, and Haposai. The final 3 episodes of Season 1 are in this tape. Shampoo's Revenge, the shiatsu technique that steals heart and soul. I love you, Ranma. Please don't say goodbye. And I Am a Man. Ranma's going back to China? As with this being the final tape of just the first season of Ranma 1/2, this also comes with the final edition of Daihyaka ni Bunoichi. Apparently, when this was first sold, fans complained that the newsletter they got with this tape was actually a duplicate of the 5th volume's Encyclopedia 1/2. Viz Video actually had them send self-addressed stamped envelopes to get this newsletter. Fortunately, the original owner, the one who had sold these tapes to half-price books, possibly did just that if he or she didn't already have this issue included with the tape. I'm not really sure if my real-life friend CPlasmaGuns had these tapes before and somehow bought them back because I don't remember exactly what he told me. If the original owner is a different person, however, in addition to CPlasmaGuns for buying these collectible VHS, I also thank whoever bought these new in the first place. If it weren't for you, I'd be bitching about how I have 2 copies of Daihyaka ni Bunoichi for episodes 13 through 15, and be left wondering if there were proper liner notes for 16 through 18. I should point out that these 6 volumes, when the cover spines are stacked together in the correct order, form a small picture of all the characters in chibi form. They also each contain a letter, or in the last case a vulgar fraction, that spells out Ranma 1/2. In conclusion, I'd like to mention that at the time of this filming, I haven't really sat down and watched each of these tapes. I do intend to watch them on DVD, however. That being said, I still play these VHS, but I'm actually doing it to benchmark how well my capture card setup goes. I'd also like to thank the person who bought these tapes new and originally owned them. Whoever or wherever you are, if you happen to be watching this video, just know that these tapes you sold to half-price books are now in good hands and shall be treated as the collectibles they truly are. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for unboxings of the later VHS and DVDs in my collection. I'd like to thank CPlasmaGuns for giving me the videotapes. Please subscribe and share to both of our YouTube channels. Feel free to add my profile on Facebook. Peace out, K-Town. Yin and Yang was never so much fun.